Hello, I'm Subramaniam and I will present about the background of our study. In recent years, Malaysia has been facing several natural disasters, especially flash flood. This flash flood also occurs in airport due to poor maintenance of the drainage system, and people should be evacuated for their safety. In this study, we will create awareness on humanitarian logistics and flood mitigation through gamification. The game will also illustrate the situation during flood and educate the public on the safety measures that should be taken.
I would like to present about our group literature review. So in the literature review, we begin with the concept of humanitarian logistics. Humanitarian logistics can be referred to the planning, coordinations and executions of logistic activities required to support humanitarian operations such as disaster relief, emergency response and refugee support according to Thomas 2003. The main focus of humanitarian logistics is to ensure that the right goods and services are delivered to the right people at the right time in order to meet their basic needs and save life. So, in the humanitarian logistics, it considers several principles, among which is of unity. That is, the humanity must pay a particular attention to the most vulnerable people whenever there is a human suffering. Next is about neutrality. Humanitarian must not be biased in favor on one side or other in a conflict or other issues. Net impartially related to the humanitarian assistance must be provided entirely based on needs without regard of race or ethnicity. Next, we will discuss about the type of humanitarian logistics. There are several types of humanitarian logistics such as relief logistics, development logistics, emergency logistics and medical logistics. In the relief logistics, this type involves the coordination and management of logistic activities required to support disaster relief operations, such as delivery to food, shelter, and medical supply to affected communities. Next is the emergency logistics. These logistics involve the rapid deployment of logistic resources and services to support emergency response operations, such as providing logistic support for search and rescue team and evacuating affected community. Besides, the humanitarian logistics also consists the development logistics. These logistics involve the planning and coordination of logistic activities to support long-term development projects such as building infrastructure and providing basic services to support sustainable development. These logistics usually used by the local authorities or the developer to build infrastructure after disaster. Lastly, the help logistics. These logistics usually be coordinations and management of logistic activities required to support help operation, such as delivery the medical supplies and equipment and the management of the healthcare facility. This logistics is very important to make sure everyone who involved in disaster can be safe immediately without need to go to the hospital due to time and the distance. I would like to continue the presentation by talking the flood in Penang. We will start with the current issue in Penang. In 2002, Penang was among the states involved in the flash flood that submerged several areas. According to the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, Penang has experienced the worst heavy rains and high tide since 2002. This abnormal rainfall caused the rainwater to stagnate in all the districts and areas of the state. In addition, the capacity and preparation in that state seems as unable to accommodate the excessive rainfall, which causes the tide level to rise. Since 2002, Penang has often faced the flash floods as a result of uncontrolled development and poorly maintained drainage system. Bayan Lepas, which is also one of the districts in Penang, is the area where the Penang International Airport is located, always faced the flash flood, especially the last year. Next, we will talk about the rainfall patterns. These islands receive heavily rainfall throughout the year, with the heaviest rainfall typically occurring during the monsoon season, which lasts from November to February. During this period, the Penang can experience heavy downpours and thunderstorms, which can cause flash floods and landslides. The average annual rainfall in Penang is around 2,500 millimeters or 98 inches, which is relatively high compared to other regions in Malaysia. Next, we will talk about the flooding threats to the airport. They have three threats to the airport, which is climate change, urban development, and problematic drainage system. The climate change is leading to more frequent and severe weather events, including the heavy rainfall and flooding. This can cause damage to the airport infrastructure and disrupt the operations. For example, flooding can damage runways, taxiways or other key port infrastructures and make it difficult, impossible to aircraft to take off and land. Additionally, the flooding can damage the airport buildings, equipment and other facilities which can costly to repair. Meanwhile, rapid and uncontrolled urban development can also contribute to increased flooding threats to the airport. As the city expands and the land is developed, the natural drainage system are often disrupted, which can lead increase the runoff of the flooding. Overall, the climate change, urban development and problematic drainage systems can all contribute to increased flooding threats to airports. To mitigate this threat, airport operators must work closely with the local authorities and other organizations to ensure the airport infrastructure is designed and maintained to withstand heavy rainfall and flooding.
Good day to Doctor. My name is Yapeshi and I'll be presenting the project methodology. There are three motives of innovation for our game. Firstly is to expose knowledge on airport planning and design for players that are from different backgrounds. Second, we would like to enhance the cognitive flexibility of a player due to the time limit set for every player, which is 10 minutes. Thirdly, we would like to allow the players to be fully immersed in our game without worries. Why? Because our game is available in real-world settings that are user-friendly. There are two motives of contribution to society. Firstly, we would like to encourage people to utilize digital platforms, knowing that using paper is not environmentally friendly. Second, we would like to contribute to the society by acknowledging every player about the airport design and the humanitarian logistics when any disaster strikes in an airport. That's why we choose the topic of flood in Penang Airport, Malaysia. There are few steps to play our game. Firstly, the game is played individually, and all players can play the game simultaneously using the online platform by wordwar.com. The game has 3 levels which are easy from question 1 to 3, moderate question 4 to 6 and difficult question 7 to 10. The question is provided at the bottom of the screen. Every player has 5 lives and 10 minutes to play the game, and the player needs to use the keyboard to move the character left, right, up and down to the correct answer while avoiding the enemies and moving into the wrong answer. The ranking of the player is based on the high score using the shortest time in the game. Before the gamification, the researchers have discussed to use online platforms that require monthly payments such as Minecraft and Scratch. We have discussed for ad time on online platforms such as WhatsApp call and Google Meet. At the end, we have finally decided to use wordwar.com because first, it's free, second, it has many challenging elements, and lastly, it has many interesting templates. During the gamification, we have invited our roommates and classmates to play our game using different devices such as laptops and also smartphones. After the gamification, we have collected a total of 30 participants to play our game and also required them to fill in the questionnaire in Google Form. For the project outcome, the mode are 6 players achieve full scores, which is 10 over 10, and on average, every player managed to score 7 questions out of 10. Meanwhile, every player only needs 3.46 minutes. That means 10 minutes is more than enough and they have sufficient time to complete every game. Lastly, as we use free online platform, therefore our game requires 0 cost. Thank you.
Next, I will explain about data analysis and interpret. First is respondent demographic profile. The demographic profile in this study show majority is female. The majority is UM student and hold the degree of Bachelor in Logistics and Transportation. Most of them are from semester 7 and majority of them are undergraduate UM student. Second is descriptive analysis. The data analysis show that participant feedback in pre-development on expectation on gaming and gamification is applied to a high level in which the mean score is 4.700. Also, feedback on post-development on experience on games and gamification is applied high level as the mean score is 4.667. Lastly is interfield analysis. Based on the result analyzed by ANOVA, the p-value is 0.9977, which is larger than the alpha value 0.05. So, we can reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, we conclude that the test as pre-development and post-development are significant differently. We do find a relationship or differentiate in this test, so we can reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis.
In conclusion, the game that we have created has achieved our research objective, which is to educate the public on humanitarian logistics, to illustrate the flood situation in the airport, and finally to acknowledge the public on the preparation during flood. This is proven with our analysis and our finding. Hence, our game is a great tool to educate the public.